Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us on This Week in the Valley. Our show features people who are making a difference and events taking place all over the area. I'm Donna Bell.
And I'm Darren Elizaris. We have another exciting show for you. Joining us a bit later is Mackenzie Garber, Miss Missouri, with an update on her journey this past year. We have Mike Downey with Sheridan County's Certified Work Ready Community Certification. And on a sad note, Jim Simon, Sheridan Valley's General Manager's final farewell.
Retirement may feel so many years away for many of us that we can't even fathom the ideal. For others, it's so close they can taste it. Either way, when it's your time to retire, what will it be like for you?
Is there life after many years of full-time employment? Mark Chimsky writes 10 secrets to a successful retirement, and here are a few. He says a successful retirement includes finding your passion. What is it that gives you a reason for getting out of bed every day? Determine what excites your soul.
Build on your strengths. Make a list of what you've accomplished so far. You may have a better idea of the kinds of things you want to do in your second act, and will remind you of how awesome you really are.
You will see more opportunities when you prepare yourself to see them. Begin your personal prep work by reading and telling your friends of your interest. The more opportunities you see, the greater your chances of making some of them work.
Push back against the limits you've set for yourself. If you take on new challenges and break through old definitions of yourself, you may discover a new purpose in your life.
Embrace contradictions. On some days, you'll want to charge up the mountain. On others, you'll just want to sit in contemplation under a tree. It's all part of the journey.
After a lifetime in the telecommunications industry, Jim Simon, Sheridan Valley's general manager, is entering his second act of his life. Will we find him climbing a mountain or resting under a tree?
Or maybe a little bit of both. We'll find out as Jim joins Donna in the studio for his final farewell.
Jim Simon has made significant changes in the telecommunications industry, and we are very sad to see him leave. But here he is. He's joining us today for his final farewell. Jim, did you ever think this day would come?
No, I didn't really. It's been a long time, but looking forward to retirement.
Oh, absolutely. So you have been in the telecommunications industry since you began working. Let's talk a little bit about what it was like when you first started in the industry.
Yeah, if I stayed working another month and a half, it'd be 45 years. So it's been, quite some time. But when I first started, things were a lot different. Obviously, we had underground cable in some of the places that I worked, but we also had a lot of aerial wire and still had party lines. So I spent some time in working for a company in Wisconsin, and then moved to northern Iowa in 1972, I think it was. And we spent about 20 years of our lives in Iowa working for a couple different companies up there. Some of the big items at that time were, those that didn't have private lines yet going to private line, and moving towards touch tone or push button service was the big thing back in the 70s and 80s. So.
Yeah. Well, you've been with Sheridan Valley for 14 years and have accomplished so much. Right now, we wouldn't be here right now on the CVTV set without Jim. Jim brought CVTV brought local content to Sheridan Valley, so we thank you for that. But besides CVTV, let's talk about some of the significant changes you've seen and some of the accomplishments that you've had.
Okay, well, when I first came here, the big driver was to move from dial-up internet to DSL type services for faster speeds. And we did a lot of that starting in 2002, a lot of DSL deployment. But shortly after that, we started moving towards fiber optics, and we did our first big fiber optic project here in Macon when we overbuilt the town of Macon, and that was in 2003 when we cut over the customers here. And then after Macon, we did Revere, Callio, New Cambria. Over time, I think we've done about 13 of the communities, mostly towns, some rural areas where we had bad cable. And in addition, we provide video in all those communities where we have fiber optics as well. And our plan at that time was to continue the deployment of fiber optic cable throughout the system but due to the reform measures that the FCC implemented in late 2011, we had to cut back because we didn't have a good feel for the future of our support from Universal Service. And of course, everybody who reads our newsletters and pays attention to those things knows that we've been talking about Universal Service reform even before 2011 and what the negative impacts have been on that, on the company. So when the order came out, in 2012, we started cutting back on future fiber deployments, and we still invested about $2 million a year in service improvements, waiting for the FCC to finish up the reform measures. And what we're hearing today is that the order has been completed and it's circulating within the FCC, but they haven't released it yet. So we're anxious to see what the FCC has to say so that it will give rural phone companies like us some certainty about our future and how we can move forward. So I know the board's plan and Kirby's plan is they still would like to get fiber optics to everybody, and that's great. I hope that there's a path to do that.
Yeah, and you've been such a part of this history. Is it hard to let it go, to just say, okay, now I'm passing the baton on and
Well,
somebody else is taking over?
It's has its challenges, but I'm looking forward to heading down a different road, so to speak, and pursuing some hobbies and things that I'd like to do, and just a change in life, and hopefully a lot less stress. And
Well, you've never really stopped working, fighting for the rural telecommunications. I mean, you've been to Washington, D.C. many times. You've fought for rural telecommunications so that we would have the highest and the best quality communication services. And you're well known in the industry, and your presence and your knowledge will truly be missed. So what of that are you going to miss?
well, I've made a lot of friends throughout the country, and I'll miss seeing those folks. You know, we get to see them, some of them maybe a couple times a year at a conference or something like that. So I'm going to miss a lot of those people, and hope that I can remain in touch with them. And of course, that we've got a great staff throughout Sheridan Valley, and hope to see those folks around. But I'll miss being here every day and working with people.
So the big question is, what are your big plans for retirement? They say it's every day's a Saturday.
Well,
So
yeah, and I always say I haven't met a retired guy that's not smiling all the time. So there's something going on there, and I want to find out what it is. But we've got lots of projects lined up. As you know, my wife's very involved in the community, and we really enjoy our lives here at Macon. It's the best place. We've moved several times, and Macon's treated us the best, most welcoming community we've ever lived in. And we intend to stay here, at least for a while. Someday we'll probably move a little closer to the kids. They're not that far away in the Kansas City area. But
and you got a few grandkids
got
that
a few grandkids,
can
and hopefully
enjoy.
we'll be able to spend a little more time in their activities, which has been difficult to do. You know, 2.5 hours away it's kind of hard to go watch a volleyball game when you're that far away. So
Right.
it'll give us a lot more opportunities there. And we have several projects lined up that we want to do, just hobbies that we like. So
Well, they say it's good to have a passion and have something, that
Mhm.
makes you want to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to it.
well, very good. So, how about a final message to Sheridan Valley customers and employees?
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to be an employee for Sheridan Valley these last 14 years. I appreciate all the support from the various boards that I've had over that time. We've had some great leadership within our boards. We've got, as I said, Sheridan Valley has great employees. The members have always been supportive of me, and it's been a wonderful opportunity, and I appreciate all of you.
Well, you're leaving a legacy of progress and change. And
Well, that's very nice of you to say, Donna, but You've got a good manager coming in with Kirby, and I think the future will be bright.
Yeah, I think
Continue
2000
to be
and
progressive.
absolutely, and 2016 is the year of change. There's lots of changes going on.
That's
so,
for sure.
so it'll be an interesting year. But on behalf of the Sheridan Valley employees and the board and the customers and the telecommunication industries, thank you.
Thank you.
You'll truly be missed.
Well, that's nice of you to say, Donna.
Well, and I mean it, and I wish you all the best in your retirement with
Thanks.
all your fun plans, and come back and see us every once in a while.
I'll do
See
that.
your smiling face. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. I've definitely enjoyed my time under his leadership. To see leadership and then others how they respect him in the industry, and so, we'll miss him, but we look forward to our future as well, and hopefully Jim has a great time with his family in retirement.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Local celebrity Mackenzie Garber of Hale, Missouri is busy fulfilling her term as Miss Missouri. She's making appearances all over the great state of Missouri and is spreading her message of character.
Mackenzie was able to stop in the studio between appearances so we could catch up on her many adventures. She is a remarkable young lady, and she joins us next.
We're lucky today to have a special young lady join us who's truly making a difference. She's been on our show before, and we're glad we caught up with her again. It's Miss Missouri, Mackenzie Garber. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me a third time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we love having you. It's so wonderful, and now it's been since June since you've been crowned Miss Missouri, so we thought we'd catch up and see some of the things that you've been doing. So let's first start with some adventures. Tell us about maybe some of your adventures you've had.
Well, there have been a lot. Every week I travel around 1,000 miles, sometimes a little less, sometimes a lot more. It just depends. And really the heartbeat of my year has been traveling to schools of all different sizes, rural schools in my local area, all the way to inner city schools in big cities like Kansas City. So I've gotten to do a lot of that where I speak about my personal platform, which is character education, and that is incredibly rewarding. But recently, in February, I've traveled out of the state twice. I traveled to North Platte, Nebraska, for an event that the Miss Nebraska organization was holding. And this past weekend, I haven't even been home yet since I went to Orlando, Florida for a Children's Miracle Network Princess Marathon that was held at Disney.
Oh, wow.
And Miss America was there because Children's Miracle Network is our national platform. And there were about 8 other state title holders, and we got a house together and had a lot of fun. And I got to go to Disney for my first time to just have fun. I was there this summer for filming for Miss America promotional stuff, but this was my first time to just run around Disney like a little kid. So this opportunity as Miss Missouri has given me a lot of amazing different adventures to go on.
Oh, it sounds like it. And,
Yeah.
And to be in Disney World in the middle of winter, you got to soak up some of that nice warm weather.
It was 85 when I was in Orlando at Disney. So when I came back to Missouri, it was a little bit of an adjustment.
I bet. Well, so is it all you've expected it to be?
It is, and more. I didn't expect it necessarily to be as difficult as it's been at times, but I think that's how it goes with anything. It's always more work requiring or work demanding and exhausting than you anticipate something to be, but it's also more rewarding than I thought it would be to have the opportunity as a 21-year-old who just graduated college to speak to people of all different ages from all different walks of life and inspire them. I've had adults come up to me and be nearly crying and say, what you said was exactly what I needed to hear to deal with the struggles that I'm going through. And I'm just 21, and to know that I'm inspiring people, it inspires me and it touches me. Their stories inspire me. I've met so many amazing children at schools and through the Children's Miracle Network. I was just at the hospital all day yesterday in Columbia. One of my very dear friends is going through surgery, and she's just a little girl. And just to see what people go through and how they maintain their joy and integrity, it's incredible.
So have you had any surprises?
Yeah, I mean, there's been little ones here and there. Some of the questions that students come up with at assemblies to ask me, I'm like, wow, where did you get that from? But overall, like I said, I think it's more than I thought it would be. And with most things that you do in life, get a guaranteed return. When you go to college, you're guaranteed to get a degree. When you work, you're guaranteed to get a paycheck. And being Miss Missouri isn't necessarily like that. You know, it doesn't pay a lot, and it's more of what you want to put into it and what you want to get out of it. So it's really a year of service, to just dedicate your life to serving your state and hopefully helping others and inspiring them. So if I get up at 5 in the morning and curl my hair and put on my makeup and walk into a school assembly of 500 students that I've never seen before, sometimes I ask myself, why do I put myself through all this? But it's really what I love to do, and God's given me the strength and the skills to do it. And I do it because I find great joy in hopefully inspiring other people with my story and my platform.
So you find it very fulfilling.
Yes, it's incredibly fulfilling. It's not about, you know, when you're preparing for Miss America, you get recognition and you're hoping to become Miss America. But after the Miss America whirlwind, it's really about the heartbeat of why am I doing this and why is it important to me and what do I want to get out of my year as a state title holder. And it's so rewarding, far more rewarding than you could imagine.
So how does this journey affect your family life?
Wow, I don't usually get that question. And that was another surprise for me. When I won Miss Missouri, my parents went to a business meeting the very next morning, and I signed my contract. And they tell me a little preview of the things to come preparing for Miss America and beyond. And my poor parents are probably overwhelmed with all this news. I was Miss Missouri's Outstanding Teen in 2011, but winning Miss Missouri, it's a whole nother ball game, a whole nother league. And then after that, you are completely whisked away from your parents, and you don't know when you're going to see them again. I saw my parents several times this summer, but I, you know, was pretty much under wraps preparing for Miss America, living at the host family in Mexico, Missouri, and traveling by myself. And I think that's really hard for your parents because they know that you're going through this huge whirlwind and they can't always be there for you when you need them or you would like them to be. And then at Miss America, they only get to see you at the visitations every night. And you don't have your cell phone on you throughout the day. So I can only imagine what it's like to have a daughter who is Miss Missouri and to just be so proud and want to be there for her. But I think this experience has made me closer to my family, and it's definitely made me more grateful for my time with them. I do get to spend a lot of time at home, and I was in college for 3 years in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I missed that. So I'm so blessed this year to have the opportunity to be at home when I can be and to spend time with my parents. And now they do get to drive me here and there on the weekends when I need a little help so I can sleep in the passenger seat.
So very good. Well, it does make you value that time that you do have together.
Yes.
Definitely. So it's almost time to pass on the crown. Are you
I
ready for this,
know.
or?
I don't know yet. I mean, I have 4 months, and I know it's going to be bittersweet, but I do think when the time comes, I'll be ready. I think God prepares us for our seasons in life, and it has been far more than I ever dreamed it would be. And of course, there are more things that I wish I could have done or I would have liked to have done, but I've really given it my everything, and I am proud of the things that I've gotten to do this year. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see what comes next for me.
Yeah. So what are your future plans? Do you have anything that beyond June?
I do. I have a degree in journalism and writing, but my big pie-in-the-sky dream is to become a film actress and a screenwriter. So I know that's pretty crazy because I come from a rural community of 400 people, but I've always loved to perform and to tell stories. So eventually I would like to move to California to pursue those dreams. I've been to film school out there 2 summers ago in LA, and I'm also trying to study abroad this summer to study drama, maybe in England at Oxford. So we'll see how all that goes, and I just trust that I will end up where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, very exciting plans. So
Thank you.
let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Hale, your hometown.
In Hale, Missouri.
Yes.
Well, someone mentioned to me that we should get a street named after me.
Oh.
And I said that would work well because my name is Kinsey Lane. My middle name is Lane, but we'll see. I don't know if we have enough streets in Hale to be naming new ones. But there have been some really neat things that I've gotten to do at Hale, and I've just been so amazed by the support that my community has. They've really just wrapped their arms around me this year and been so supportive of me. So this Christmas, I had the idea to do a toy drive with the MU Women's and Children's Hospital that's in Columbia. And so I asked the students to bring new toys that had never been unboxed and to donate them to the hospital. So they had to go out and buy new toys. And if you would believe it, they brought 663 new toys.
Wow, that is amazing.
Far more than I expected. They got competitive. And so the winning class for the elementary and junior high and high school got pizza parties with me to celebrate. And I got to deliver the toys to the hospital, and they were so appreciative. And then also recently, Hale had their Pink Out Breast Cancer Awareness Basketball Night, and they honored the women's state champions for basketball. They got second place at state, but they're still our champions. And it was in 1975, and this was their 40th anniversary. And believe it or not, my Aunt Beverly Figg was on that team, who I'm very close to, and she is fighting cancer and has beat her first round of that. And then my high school history teacher, Sarah Gillen, was also on that team, and she's been a huge mentor of mine, and she has recently beat breast cancer.
Wow.
So that night was so meaningful to me, and I got to announce the players and the coaches, the cheerleaders and the team managers, and they walked out on the court. And that happened before I was even born, but to have the honor of doing that as Miss Missouri, it was just all my worlds came together really sweetly for that. So I've had a lot of great opportunities, and it's so rewarding to come back to the area that raised me to be who I am today, because I wouldn't be Miss Missouri if it wasn't for Hale.
Very special place, and I'm sure they are so proud of you. And if you do get a street named after you, that would be icing on the cake. They should just change Main Street to.
Oh, no. I don't expect it. Someone was just joking about it. I think they maybe will do a sign that says Home of Miss Missouri 2015, but even if they don't, I'll broadcast no matter where I go in life where I came from, because I'm so proud of it.
Oh, that is very exciting. Well, you have touched many lives, and you're so inspirational, and we are so thankful that you joined us again, gave us that update, and let us know what was going on. We really appreciate that, and we wish you the best of luck in the rest of your year that you're serving, and then on into the future. So hopefully you'll keep in touch.
Yes, I will. I'll always be back at CVTV for an interview. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mackenzie.